Around. Thank you for coming. This is pretty fun for us to be doing this today. Thank you to Manager Kelly Nicholson and two infielders, Eddie McCabe and Josh Zamora. Round of applause for them. And a special thank you to the Murphy family, John Jr., giving us this space in the Land Ho to enjoy today. So first off, basically what we're going to do, I'm going to be asking them questions for about 15 minutes or so, get to hear inside of the birds, what they love about baseball, the town of Orleans, everything like that, and then we're going to open it up to you. So kids, if you've got 15, 20 minutes to think of some really good questions to ask these guys to stump them. And if anybody wants to ask Coach or any of these two All-Stars a question, then feel free. But first off, we can't officially start this without a round of applause for Kelly Nicholson. Please. Been a part of the Orleans Firebirds organization for 19 years, 15 years as manager and coach, 350 career wins. I know that's an amazing accomplishment. When you think of that, what do you think of?
I think I'm getting old. Been here a long time, and we've had a lot of good players. These two guys right here, two of the best players in the country, and Pick has been here a long time. He's got 500, and Schiff dropped by the office the other day just to say hello, and he's the all-time leader. Was here 25 years and has, I think it's 527 or so. When you have good players and you've been around a good organization and you've been here a long time, you're going to win some games. And, we've had fantastic coaching staffs. We've had really good players. We have had coaches around the country send us the right guys, and it's a good combination for success.
So Josh Zamora on the end. He's from Orange County, California. He plays baseball at Nevada. And Josh, here you are on the East Coast on the Cape. I know you've never been out here before, at least for this amount of time. How's your summer been in Orleans?
It's been awesome. Being this far from home, it's a new experience, and definitely learned something new about people every single day, I'd say.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean?
I'd say West Coast people are just acting friendly. There's different.
They're really nice here, aren't they?
Super nice. People are a lot better drivers here. I'll say that much.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Hey, Eddie McCabe goes to Georgetown. He's from the East Coast, but you're new to the Cape in this entire experience and playing baseball out here. You've enjoyed a very successful season. In terms of baseball, what have you learned about yourself this summer, Eddie?
It's been a very humbling experience. We're playing with the best players out here every single day. You always got to bring your A game to the field. The competition is tough. The guys are great. So you really never get a second to step back. We had an off day yesterday, so it was nice to kind of just take a breather and kind of recap the first half of the season. And it's a blessing to be able to play against the best college baseball players in the country for sure.
Coach, you've seen these guys be a part of Orleans and be a part of all this that Orleans offers. 19 years, 15 years as manager of the team. How cool is it to see all these college athletes get the chance to be a part of this cool town here?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great opportunity. I was telling somebody the other day, I don't think when J.J. Blade was here this time last year that he was going to be nearly $7 million richer today. And it's an unbelievable opportunity. I've seen guys come in here. I think in my first year as a manager in 2005, we had a Templar named Manny Burris who went to Kent State. And we thought he was going to make the USA team. We thought he might have to go to summer school. He wound up not doing either. He didn't have to go to summer school, decided not to come to the USA team or go to the USA team, and wound up coming here kind of relatively, obviously not from a big school at Kent State, and came up here and stole 37 bases. He probably should have been the MVP of the league. I know I'm partial. That team won the championship that year. Some dude named Longoria won it. And he ran out of here being a first rounder. And then I've seen guys like Matt Wieters come in as arguably the best player in the country when we had him, and I think Matt was the 5th pick of the draft. And then I've seen some other guys, some highly touted guys come in here that have stumbled a little bit and have hurt them in the next June's draft. So I've kind of seen all the spectrum of guys. And so it's interesting. It's a tremendous opportunity for these guys to really improve their draft stock for next year, 2020.
Something I know, guys would be, everybody would be interested in. You kind of talked about Longoria, big name players. And these two have done it. They play baseball in front of massive crowds. I think for the little ones here, they'd probably be interested. Josh, I'll go to you first. What's that like, playing baseball in front of thousands of people in Orleans, at Nevada, in Orange County, where you played high school ball? What's that feeling like?
It's really indescribable, I'd say, because at school we get like 100, 200, 300 fans on a good day. So coming out here and getting a lot more than that, it's a lot of fun, I'll tell you that one. Feel loved when you're on the field by the community. It gives you a sense of drive and motivation to kind of do well on the field.
How about you, Eddie?
No, I think I completely agree. Same thing with me at school. We're lucky to have 200 people at a game, especially when it's freezing rain and 30 degrees outside in the early months. But being in Orleans and playing in front of 3,000, 2,000 people, whatever it may be that night, it really just kind of pushes you to elevate your game to the next level a little bit. I think it makes you a little bit excited. It could make you a little bit nervous, but it's definitely a lot of fun. And the fans in Orleans are definitely the best in the Cape. We see it every single night. They fill up that hill every single night, so it's a lot of fun.
There's a game tonight at 7 at Orleans. You can fill the hill. You can watch both these guys play ball. Josh Zamora will be out there, and Josh, you're a guy that has had a very successful summer so far. In terms of baseball, what have you learned about yourself playing against the top competitors in the country?
So the biggest thing is maturity for me. Coming out here and being with all the best baseball players, you really realize what kind of a small fish you are in such a big pond. And it's very humbling, like Eddie said earlier, to be able to mature with these guys around you and really learn from everybody around you. You can take something from everyone's game that they play, and I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken away from this summer.
What have you taken away, Eddie?
No, I think you kind of hit the nail right on the head. It's awesome to be able to kind of pick the brains of the best players in the country. You can talk to Ray Gill about hitting. You can talk to Josh Zamora about fielding. You can take Max Troiani's approach at the plate. Every single person has something that they're better at than you. And it's awesome to be able to just have the teammates and even guys just around the league you might know from playing in the spring or you grew up playing with them or something like that. It's awesome to be able to just hear from them and hear their perspective on things and learn every single day from them.
Coach, we've got a player from the West Coast, a player from the East Coast. You've coached and managed players from the North and South. Guys coming all across the country. What have you learned about baseball and just about coaching this summer?
I think the thing that I've learned being up here 19 summers is, you guys mentioned Max Troiani. There are great players all over the country. And it doesn't matter if they're Division I, Division II, Division III. We have a Division III pitcher in Nick Garcia. We have a Division II player in Max Troiani. To be really very honest, I'd never heard of Bentley University. And I got a phone call from a Yankee scout, Matt Hyde, that said, hey, I think this Troiani kid can do it, at least temporarily. And Max was originally going to come up on a temp contract. He had a very nice internship all set up, and he decided to stay on the Cape. And right now he's our leading hitter. He's going to start in the All-Star game. So it's a really cool story. But there are good players everywhere. The Stetsons, the Bentleys, the Chapmans, the Arizona States, the Stanfords, the SCs. You have some junior college kids. We've had kids from Florida Southern. That's the thing that probably impacts me most, is how many good players there are and where they all come from.
Josh, where did your love for baseball begin, if you can trace it back to one time?
Definitely when I was a baby. Playing t-ball, it was my favorite thing to throw on those baseball pans and just go out, and mainly because you play with your buddies, and that's where I met some of my best friends. So I think that's where the main passion came from.
Got a chance to speak a lot with Eddie McCabe this year, and one of the coolest things that stood out to me was you asked guys, what are their goals? Oh, my goals, I want to make the major leagues. I asked Eddie, what's his goal? I want to make it. There's a difference when guys say it. When Eddie McCabe says, I want to make the major leagues, he's not just saying it because that's what he's supposed to say. And I'm kind of interested in that mindset. What does the ultimate goal really mean to you, Eddie? How does that push you through working out and pushing you through all these games?
That's been the goal since as long as I can remember. We've had the conversation before, like Josh said, baseball's kind of instilled, that love of the game is kind of instilled in you from a really young age. And I credit my dad for putting that love in me when I he picked me up from school one day and he brought me to the Yankees Red Sox game, and watching Derek Jeter play, and at the time Jason Varitek was the catcher for the Red Sox. So wanting to be like those guys and playing in the big leagues in front of thousands of people, and setting a good example for kids who are going to see them for the first time, really put that that drive in me that I wanted to be able to do that one day, and that has been the goal ever since day one.
The goal of the Orleans Firebirds is to be, in Coach Kelly's words, super pro, super professional in everything they do, whether it's having their hats off here, sitting up straight, which I think I need to do a little better when they're sitting up so straight and right next to me. Coach Kelly, you push that, being a super professional in every single thing. What does that mean to you, and instilling that in all these guys?
Well, most of these guys are going to play professionally, and a few of them are going to get to the big leagues. I think there's been an average about 4 or 5 a year are going to get to the major leagues since I've been here. And we kind of tell them if the behavior's not going to be acceptable at Yankee Stadium or Fenway Park or at Dodger Stadium or at Petco, little shout out to your mom over there at Petco Park. It's not going to be acceptable here. So when they get to a major league dugout, we want them to know how to behave on the field and off the field, and because that's going to be their career for probably 8 to 10 more years. And then we talk about the other stuff, the punctuality, the accountability, being respectful to everybody. Once they're finished playing, if they can live that daily, then we feel like those are going to be good characteristics to instill in their DNA, and they're going to be successful brothers and husbands and fathers and sons and friends, and that's way more important than the baseball. And we talk about it in our clinic with all these little kids here. It's super important. It's way more important than be able to win a baseball game or hit a home run or strike somebody out or make a great play.
You mentioned all the future Firebirds in attendance here, and Josh, I'll start with you, and then Eddie will go to you. If there's one piece of advice you could give aspiring baseball players, really whatever age it is, what would you think it would be?
I would just say, enjoy the moment. Because that's something I wish I would have done when I was younger. It's just enjoy being out there with your friends and have fun with it. Because you really do only live once, and when you're younger, that's all it is you're having fun. And then as you get older, it starts to become a little bit more serious and a little bit more, how do you say it, almost business-like.
What about you, Eddie?
No, I mean, just have fun and work hard. If you do those two things, you can go a long way in this game. But like Josh said, the most important thing right now is to make sure you're having fun. Baseball is a game. At the end of the day, even the big leaguers are getting paid to play a kid's game. So if you're not having fun with it, there's really no point in doing it, especially at this young age. You got to have fun with it. You're out there with your friends. It's a nice summer's day. Today at clinic, it was beautiful weather. We're having fun. So just have fun, and then as like Josh said, as you work your way up, you keep working harder and harder and harder and harder, and sooner or later that hard work becomes fun.
We're going to get Coach one more question, and then we'll open it up to everybody here if you want to ask the Firebirds or Coach Kelly Nicholson a question. Coach, you've seen for 19 summers the best college baseball players in the country come here to Orleans. What's the best thing you've seen, whether it be on the field, off the field, something that somebody can take and instill in their game or just instill in their life?
Well, that's a good question. That's a hard question. Seen some really good players up here and met some really great people. This has always been about people for me. It's the friends I've made, the friendships I've formed, the relationships I've developed. At my age, that's the most important thing, and that's what I'm going to take away from it. Carmen Carcone gave me an opportunity to stay when he took over the managerial position in 2000, and I guess it was 2002. I had been here a year with Don Norris, who originally gave me an opportunity, and then Carmen kept me, and then Carmen left and took a college job, and the organization offered me a life-changing opportunity, and here I am, 15 years later. So it's all about people, man. It's nice to see so many people that have interest here in the Firebirds, the kids and the O'Donnells and people from our community. And Murph, thank you so much for hosting us. This is really nice. Everybody loves the Land Ho, And
You hit a ho-ho home run when you come to the land
so,
ho.
but it's been really a humbling experience to watch all of these really great players come through the league, not only on our side, but I remember vividly when we went to YD one year and Chris Sale was the starting pitcher, and I thought he was going to strike everybody out. We didn't have a chance. And to see that kind of performance, the Andrew Millers back in Chatham my very first year, he was here for 2 summers, and then Buster Posey, and seen some really great players. It's been fun, man. It's been really fun to watch it from our venue in the dugout.
Hey, this will be fun. If anybody out here would like to ask Manager Kelly Nicholson, Eddie McCabe, or Josh Zamora anything, whether it be about baseball, their summer here, or really anything, we're going to open it up to you because the Orleans Firebirds are in the town of Orleans. We'll start with this guy. He had his first hand up.
What did you think about Aaron Judge when you were?
He was really big. I remember one night, that's funny you asked him, I went into Shaw's one night, and Aaron and his mom and dad were in there, and he's from California. I just introduced myself. I knew he was playing at Brewster, and yeah, he was big, like really, really big. He looked like Gronkowski in there, and he couldn't have been a nicer kid. Mom and dad were wonderful, wonderful people, and every time he came up for Brewster, we thought he was going to hit a home run and a far one. But a very nice kid.
How many years have you been playing baseball?
Oh my gosh, I need to do math. 15
Coach will
years?
teach you.
Yeah, 15 years, I'd say. I probably started T-ball when I was 3 or 4 years old. I was really young, but even before that, my parents were flipping me wiffle balls in the backyard and stuff like that. So, kind of ever since I can remember, I've been playing baseball.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's funny, we still have baby videos of throwing the little squishy soft baseballs. I just throw it wherever I was in the house. So that was very, very young.
Yeah, don't play baseball in the house. I got a lot of trouble back then for breaking windows and breaking bases, throwing baseballs around the house and stuff. So yeah, don't do that.
You're like,
Who inspired you guys to play baseball?
That's a great question. That is a very good question. I'd say my dad. Definitely inspired me to play baseball. Because you always have your favorite players on your favorite team. You know, you're wearing a Red Sox shirt. It might be Mookie Betts or Andrew Benintendi, whoever it might be. For me, when growing up, it was Derek Jeter. But my dad definitely inspired me to play baseball. You know, he played baseball as a kid through high school, and he was the one that kind of was there through baseball the entire time. So he was definitely my inspiration.
I definitely said my parents as well. From, like he said, picking me up from school and taking me to the field to throw me batting practice or hit wiffle balls. It was always my parents that were there to kind of support the dream.
Have you played any other sport?
Yeah. I played basketball. I think I stopped playing basketball when I was sophomore in high school. And even after that, I used to go to the YMCA and play with my friends all the time. Pick up football. Especially at a young age, it's really important to play as many sports as you can. If you love football, if you love basketball, if you love soccer, play all the sports. Because like we said before, it's all about having fun when you're at a young age. But yeah, and I remember I went to go see Mark Teixeira talk at Sacred Heart University, which is like 15 minutes near my house in Connecticut. And he said that he played he played football, he played soccer, he played basketball, he played baseball. He played everything. And he said, as long as you can, play as many sports as you can.
Growing up, I played soccer and football, along with baseball, and loved all of them. But came to a choice where you get to high school, and I was not able to play all 3 sports, so I had to pick baseball on top of all of them.
got any more? I'll go one more, and we'll go down the line. Josh, what's your favorite baseball memory?
That's a good question. That's a hard one, actually. There's a lot of them. Probably I'd say from the past few years, my favorite baseball memory would be coming out here. That'd be a big one because, you know, at school, you go to school with them. So you see them every day and all that stuff, right? So come out to the Cape Cod League, you're like, oh, dude, like, it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. Met all the guys on the team, and to meet all the guys and to realize how cool they are and how down to earth and how personal that you can get with some guys and build the relationships that you really want to build is probably the best baseball memory because that translates to being on the field with them. Being on the field with them makes you really want to have their back on the field. So when someone on your team messes up, you want to be able to succeed to help them out, and vice versa. So I think that's the best baseball memory and experience I've had out here so far.
Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of be different because I totally agree with what Josh said. In terms of like a baseball memory, just like one game, I would say when we played Creighton last year, Georgetown played Creighton my freshman year at TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha, Nebraska, which is where they play the College World Series. And it was military appreciation night that night, so they had a big swearing-in ceremony of a bunch of like future military members. And they had a flyover, and they had paratroopers like parachute into the stadium. And there's about 20,000 people there that night, and like the atmosphere was just amazing. We ended up winning that game too. So I mean, it really felt like almost like a major league experience because, you know, I was playing shortstop at the time, and my third baseman was trying to talk to me, and I literally couldn't hear what he was saying, how loud it was in the stadium. So yeah, in terms of a baseball memory, just a game, that was definitely my favorite.
What about you, Coach?
Well, it's always catching up with former players. For all you Red Sox fans in here, and I'm sure there are a lot of you in here. Last year, I went up to the Red Sox hotel before Game 4, and I had lunch with Bobby Pointer, and I ran into Stephen Wright and his wife and his kids. And this summer, running into having Nate and Amanda Fryman stop by to say hello. Nate's one of our all-time. I think if we would ask Miss Sue, one of our all-time favorite players here in Orleans. And then Don and I had the honor and privilege of going to their wedding. So stuff like that means a lot to me. Nothing like running into former players and seeing, you know, we're calling Eric Lauer on the phone, and he had flown in from the Padres were in Washington, D.C., and they're flying into L.A., and they got in really late one night last year, and Eric and I were going to get together. And so I called him at the hotel, and I said, I'll be by, you know, just let me know where you're staying. I said, can you give me the address of the hotel or what hotel you're staying in? I thought they're going to be staying downtown at the Ritz-Carlton like a lot of them do, and I can literally see it from where I work at Loyola High School. I said, where are you staying, Eric? And Eric goes, I don't know. He had no idea where, you know, he was a rookie in the big leagues, and they got in about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I could just picture him putting the phone down and going over to the little desk and looking at the information under the telephone, and he finally gave me his address. I said, well, I can't come pick you up if I don't know the hotel or where you're staying, so I'll never forget that. But it's always about running into former players, and it's really been the very best part for me.
The biggest takeaway, at least for me, hopefully for you guys, is the fact that baseball's not just a game, it's all about the relationships. All three of them talked about that at different points, whether it be here, whether it be in Los Angeles, in Nevada, or at Georgetown. So I think that's pretty special, a cool thing for me to take away. I hope all of you were able to take away something. Let's hear it for the Birds, right?